are just about every Wednesday, except for that month we took off and those couple weeks we skipped, and the 43 years prior to this one and all of that. I'm your host, Jay Artist, joined as always by my dear friend and co-host Uber Fuzzy, my hetero life mate there. And man, oh man, the snow has finally started to go away. Happy belated Mario Day. Happy early Pi Day. What the hell else happens in March? Anything of interest? St. Patrick's Day. Can't forget about that one. That's in here somewhere.
Is that this weekend?
I think it might be. I think it might be.
Ziggy, when's St. Patrick's Day?
St. Patrick's Day is 5 days away, on Monday, March 17th.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Oh, no.
Don't forget to corn your cabbage and beef your... Oh, shit, that's...
Oh, that means we're getting the pellet of sauerkraut tonight.
Sauerkraut.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Just back the truck up to my house.
No, it's in jars, which are, like,
the heavy glass ones, yeah.
Yeah.
My condolences, man. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Hopefully they'll take it as easy on you as they can manage to do decently.
No, I'm on pet food for this week, because somebody's on vacation.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were talking about that. Grody.
Yep.
Oh.
And they think they might be having me take over that aisle in addition to the cereal aisle.
Interesting. Also, hi, Red. Happy Wednesday.
Because the guy that normally does it, I mean, he's not a scrawny little child. You know, he's an adult male. But when they see me walk over and pick up 2 buckets of litter and just casually put them up on the shelves without straining, and then pick up the 2, elephant-sized bags of dog food, one in each hand, and walk them down the aisle, they're like, oh yeah, you're strong. You can just do that without, like, carrying each one individually. Yeah. And I'm like,
you're
damn
still able to tote that barge and heft that bale, which does work against you occasionally, unfortunately. Oh yeah, there is an Oddball show coming up at the end of the month. I should try and get out to that. I would like to see that. I do miss my Oddball family. I miss all my craft show friends. It's not peak season, but as the world comes out of hibernation, there's a handful of them all at once. So I should try and catch up with a few of those again.
Did we ever discuss if it would be, like, feasible by the numbers to, like, rent a vehicle to go to those shows?
We'd kick the idea back and forth a little bit. It would cut into the profit significantly to the point where it may be a break-even thing, but then again, I never really did it to make a ton of money in the first place, so it might be worth it every once in a while. I don't know. I keep floating the idea back and forth. I might. I have looked into it. I have looked into it and considered. Interesting. I wonder why I'm so quiet.
You're a little low on my end, too. I got my headphones cranked up.
Strange. I wonder if it did something weird to my... Is that any... Oh, that's way too much better. Let me turn that back down a little bit. Am I too loud on your end? Yes, I'm sure I am.
Yes, but I can turn mine down.
Fair. And I'm looking over here, and it looks like... It looks legit. Hello, Dino. Dino's very excited, too. We went out on a car ride today. Dino. Buddy.
Okay, here's what we got to do. You got to run a spectrum analysis on that part of the show. Find out what frequencies dog barks are, and put a notch filter to mute out that range.
But what about when I play the song "Dogs" by Pink Floyd? You'll miss all of that. Also, hi, Miss Indo, I love you. Dino was so good. I had to go out to the gas station today. I had to make my bi-weekly supply run. It's payday. So I borrowed Ashley's car because she was doing training today. And since she was doing training, she used remote computer, et cetera, et cetera. So I said, hey, I'll take the puppy and we'll go out for a little bit so you don't have to deal with this while you're doing your training for work. Calm down, buddy. The lovely young lady in the drive-thru at Sheets was absolutely smitten. So enamored with the guy, and he got a pup cup, and he got all kinds of compliments, and it was all I could do to not let her convince me to pull the window down so that Dino could give her kisses. I'm sure it made her whole day, though. She was just all smiles. It made me so happy. Enough. Have you been outside? Have you touched grass today?
Technically, yes. I walked Charles to school this morning.
That counts. That absolutely counts.
And totally okay. So a lot of the parents right in this area will walk their children to school because the parking lot for the drop-off is kind of small and convoluted.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? Unless it's like 0 degrees, it's 30 degrees out. They're fine. If you're close enough to walk, you can survive in 30 degrees, right? So as I'm leaving, parent shows up, like, and she's like, "Where's that sun? Har har. What? How about this weather?" And I'm like, "Well, it's gonna be, I'm like, yeah, but it'll be sunny on Friday and Saturday in the 70s. She's like, yeah, but I'm gonna miss it because I sleep all day because I work third shift. And I'm like, funny, so do I. And just like totally randomly, this one adult person that I run into randomly happens to also work 10 to 6 night shift, the same as me. And I'm like, what are the chances of this? Because I'm like, and I told her, I'm like, yeah, I'm usually asleep by now, except on Wednesdays I have to bring her in on Wednesdays. Yeah. But usually I get off at 6. I like to be in my PJs in bed, doom scrolling for a little bit, but I'm usually asleep by 8 or 9. Except on Wednesdays, yeah. I gotta drag her up here, and she's like, actually, me too. And there's that awkward moment where like you just keep walking next to each other because you're going the same direction. And she peels off, and she's one of the people on the street right that I walk past, and I'm like, oh, you're the one with the awesome decorations every year. She's like, yeah, it's my husband. He goes nuts. He really loves it because he never got to put up decorations as a child. I think I've sent you pictures. If not,
yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yep.
The way over the top one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it turns out that's her house.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm around the corner there. And she's like, well, I'll see you next Wednesday then.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
It's odd to see the chances to run into somebody else that understands that life. Like, yeah, it's going to be beautiful, and you're not going to see it.
Yeah. Although the night's not going to be bad. I mean, there's going to be less sun at night, but necessarily, by definition.
It still sucks.
No, I do get
there's
that.
No way around it.
I do get that. I know I have a bad habit of trying to silver lining everything, too, so.
I don't mind night shift. It's conducive to my natural circadian rhythms, or at least what I've programmed myself to be on for 15 years of working for West Coast companies.
Yeah.
But I don't mind working at night. If I need to, I can do stuff during the day.
Right.
Like, but And I don't even mind the physical. It's not any one part of the equation. It's that magical, the sum is greater than all the parts
Mm-hmm.
part of the equation. Like collectively, all of these things suck.
Yeah. When you put it all together, it becomes a lot to deal with.
Yeah. Although I'm finding solace in various night shift based Reddit communities that kvetch about a lot of the similar things and have solutions to them, and it's
Things
that's why
to,
it was really weird. It was really weird to run into another person
yeah.
on that shift.
Things to help you remember things to remend you, things to make brain know that you're not the only person.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's what I have been failing to say for 5 whole minutes. Christ. Oh goodness.
What were we talking about right before the show? You're like, save it for the show.
You'd said something about weather, and I think I was. What was I yelling about? I don't remember what I was yelling about, but you had something to recommend related to weather?
Yes.
Oh goodness. This excites and also worries me. Please tell me it's like old Weather Channel broadcasts as a Twitch channel.
No.
Also, I just want the old Weather Channel back. I really do. It's so dumb sounding, but like, I need that.
Let
Also,
me get this link.
speaking of links and things to share, I need to find a link and share it. I'll throw it in our Discord, which, by the way, if you're not in my Discord, come join it, hang out, see the terrible nonsense that goes on there. I will be posting
There is
a link tonight.
I'll go. Oh, ooh, Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, that's right, the Discord.
I'll be posting a link tonight. I found someone that did a synthwave cover of Opus Number 1. You know that song even if you don't know that you do. The Cisco Hold music.
Oh,
Someone did a really, really badass cover of it that is magnificent. So I'm gonna throw that in there. And just shake my fist. Old man shakes fist at cloud, you know. Why didn't I do this? This should have been me.
there is a content creator that I found on TikTok that does. It was briefly called Pirate Weather, and then she changed it because people were like, she's like, no, I'm just reporting it. Like, it's still the real weather. It's just I'm also doing my own report of it. It's a VTuber, but not always, because sometimes she's lazy. But she does daily weather reports. Because why not? And it's one of those things like, you know, I get my food from the gas station, I get my gas from the grocery store, I get my weather from an anime waifu, and I get my news from under the desk. Nothing makes sense, but at this point it doesn't matter.
You're not wrong, and it hurts.
And she is actually, and the same handle is also, she does also stream like gaming on Twitch also.
Nice.
But yeah, if you are a fan of the TikToks and enjoy weather reports daily about with some humor and just lighthearted, you know, she's my type of people, of the neurospicy kind.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I get her humor a lot. But it's it's where I get my weather from every day.
Nice. Speaking of content creators and being one. So there I am working yesterday for some value of working. No, I was actually working. I was not in a meeting. I was kind of heads down working. And I hear this knock at the door. And we had rain the other day. And you know how like when it rains real heavy, all like up to the surface or like on the driveways and stuff, It brings all the roof repair company solicitors. You thought I was going to say worms. Don't you give me that look.
I thought you were going to say all the boys to the yard.
So, he's there. He's going to try and pitch me on getting a free inspection and leave his number because I'll get a discount when we do eventually get the roof repaired. And, of course, he noticed there's some shingles loose. I'm wearing my 1986 shirt yesterday, and he sees that, and he's like, oh, I like the shirt. Did you see the last one? My guy. I was there. I was in the last one. Did you skip my segment? Because now I'm offended. This backfired on you.
Say, yes, I do the tech, and also I play music.
We were there. I had a segment. We played Let's Cafe Crowd Control. You remember that? We raised $1,000. Did I tell you? Our friend the redhead is picking out his segments for Big Broadcast for Good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's already got like 3 other crowd control segments. So he says no crowd control cafe. But you and I keep talking about like recording an episode of the show on not a Wednesday and like airing it on Wednesday to fit schedules better. And he said he would be interested, if we are interested, in doing a 1 hour half show, mini show, as a segment on BB4G. So if you're interested in that, I'm definitely down for it. You know me. As much as I yell about the guy, I do like him quite a bit.
Yeah.
Sweet. As soon as I have any more material, it'll go up here in the which corner is it? Point at the Garfield. It'll go up here in the totally not sponsor rotator. As soon as I have details on Big Broadcast for Good. Coming this year, since we somehow missed 2024, our good friend Jiggy 13 this year, by the way. And his partner anniversary. We're like real close to the partner anniversary because he was at PAX East last year when he got the news.
Oh yeah, I remember the hallway.
The hallway call, the tears in the hotel hallway.
Man weeping in hotel hallway. Nobody is surprised.
Well, it's not the first time I've seen him cry in a hotel hallway either. So, but that's a story for never. Maybe someday. But yeah. So celebrating that.
There's a lot of podcasts I listen to that they'll record what 2 different shows have called it this. Totally, like they're not even like in the same space. Probably don't listen to it, but they've called them a podcast out of time.
Yeah,
and they record. A lot of them are like very topical shows. It's like what's happening in the news or whatever. So they tend to be kind of sequential and.
Oh,
something started playing. A tab made noise and I was confused. But they usually record an episode of like a special thing they want to talk about that just stands alone out, and they can use it as a filler episode when like an event is coming or both of them are under the weather or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a very special episode of
smart, sane people would do it. Yeah.
They usually play them around tech convention time when they will be doing a show at the thing, but they not the week before when they're traveling.
Yeah.
And it would have like, when we lost effectively 3.5, we lost 3 shows because of your 1 week event because travel time on each side.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Play those while you're in travel, even if you can do the show when you're there.
You have definitely recommended the same for me, and I have not done, but I think we will for the next one. which, with any luck, the next time we have to do something like that will be the next major event, which, by the way, I have Zeldathon news that I can't leak yet, but I will have it for you next week for sure. Well, I have dates. I can't share the dates yet, but I have dates. Like, confirmed, ink is dry on the contract dates.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm hyped.
Hypoo.
Now we just have to figure out how to put on an event.
I have comments about that, but I'll keep them to myself.
Okay, look, we did really well with SideQuest. Yes, there were some problems. There are always going to be some problems, but in terms of Clinket's first time running the event solo, really,
Yes.
you know, and
I will allow for that.
A huge takeaway from that is the list of things that we had not had to do because they were things that MC just did, and it never got documented because they were always things that MC just did and nobody knew they happened. That's a lot of what we learned at the last one.
Oh my god.
Was it you where I was just having this conversation? Yeah, we were just talking about one of the toughest parts about documentation is writing down things that it's easy to not know what other people don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know it, you have no good way to know if anyone else does or not. You don't even realize it's something someone else wouldn't know.
A year and a half now?
Yeah.
Since I left the Red Company.
Mm-hmm.
My former boss, which I talked to because she's a very dear friend of mine.
Yeah.
Like far before that. And she was saying like it was quite a long time even after I was immediately let go. They were still finding stuff that was like, oh, what happened to that report? Or why didn't that thing happen? Or wait, why doesn't that work anymore? And just like, oh, that was a thing Uber just would do randomly every couple months in the middle of the night and refresh the tokens or cycle this or just run that report or adjust some variables here and just keep that alive that nobody knew about. And he just did it silently for 11 years and just worked.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was so used to being, because of all the hats you had to wear, because of the fact that it was a startup, you did these things because one team, one dream, and at some point they became routine. You didn't even think to document them because they just happened. Yes, you did them, but they just happened. They were part of it. Everybody knows it's part of the process.
A lot of times what happens is they don't try to fix it, they replace it. They don't try to hand the old task off. They're like, well, we're just not going to use that service anymore. We're going to find something else and somebody else is going to own that new process, because trying to get in there to figure out what was going on is a too steep of a friction cost to overcome.
Yeah.
And it's easier for somebody to learn a new thing rather than try to learn somebody else's old thing.
Yeah, I get that. I have a question for you privately later about the red place, but we'll come back to that afterwards. But no, I mean, even looking at what I've been doing at the day job recently, it's the same kind of thing. I find myself in a situation where we've had a lot of shifts recently in management and structure and all of that. And I'm trying to go through the list of things like, I'm not going anywhere. Until they decide they're getting rid of me, I'm not going anywhere. I'm too much of a coward to take the leap, you know? But just on that off chance that something happens, you know, the bus number. What if the lottery bus hits me with $6 million tomorrow? What are the things that nobody knows I do? And how can I make sure someone else knows how to do them? And it's a weird concept.
it was kind of weird because I kind of knew it was coming. And then, like, the weeks right up to it was happening, I went to the people who were on teams that I liked.
Yeah.
And I told them, go generate these tokens and go put them here. Make them not be owned by me.
Yeah.
Because if magically, in a week and a half, my tokens all suddenly get deactivated company wide, I don't want these systems to break. Everybody else, fuck them.
Yeah.
But I like your stuff. If I'm not on your team, I like you guys. I want your stuff to keep working flawlessly.
And that's why I try so hard to stay on your good side. I want one of those warnings if anything's going to happen mysteriously.
Well, that's why I was so on you about very in detail documenting the Steam release process. And it's that thing that we had the kerfuffle over, and you just had the line like, oh, when it's done. And I'm like, well, no. What does it actually say when it says succeeded or completed or is done?
Yeah.
Because you know contextually, because you've done it, what that means.
Yeah.
But whether it's not it's uploaded versus you actually now you hit save, or the upload is complete and now you have to hit post. Like,
and there's one of those
little things.
You did catch me on that, because there's one of those where, like, you upload it and then you get green text that says build successful or upload successful, but then you have to wait a few seconds until it says depot build complete. So you did absolutely catch me on that one, and that was a good one.
Yeah. Whereas I'm the type of engineer that you can hand somebody else's working thing and say, figure this thing out. We know it works, but we don't know how. Figure it out and then own it. I'm the type of person you can hand a project like that, and I will figure it out.
Speaking of which, we have to do updates to Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
PubSub is deprecated. Everything
God
needs to
damn
move.
it.
Everything needs to move to Event Sub. PubSub has been quiet deprecated for a while. They're doing phased outages. Good thing we moved to Twerple when we did, because Twerple supports all that out of the box. I just need to switch over to using Event Sub. Yeah, Twitch is actively starting a bunch of fires right now. You are 100% like everyone I know. Everyone I know is having that problem.
The thing is, though, I know why they're doing that. If they're getting off of PubSub, it's because they want less active servers, and they can route all the Event Sub stuff out through less outbound EC2 instances.
Yeah.
Opposed to having many fingers out to do the subscription things. Is TCP versus UDP packets. They can send a post out. They can send an event out over an open connection, opposed to having 1,000 connections all over the place.
So I get this email. All right, this is relevant. I actually want to explain how this happened to me. I am registered as a Twitch developer. I own applications that interact with Twitch. Fuzzy is as well. I think all four of us are marked as whatever.
Yeah.
And because of that, they can track your usage. You get like a key you use in everything you write for Twitch. Mm-hmm. If they detected that you had any projects that used PubSub, they sent you an email within the past 2 or 3 days. And that email says, hey, just to remind you, PubSub is being actively deprecated. We ran a blackout window for 10 hours on insert day before the email came out. And we'll be doing further phased blackout periods during, telling you when the next ones are, before a final deprecation on blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So if you are using anything that manages channel point redeems, if you're using it, but you did not make it, you didn't get any notification. And I, as a developer, didn't get any notification until after the first blackout period, because apparently they'd soft announced that they were going to deprecate it. Which,
look,
I understand,
there's
but...
the email.
Yep. Yeah. But that means if you're using a piece of software, a bot or a site or anything like that that connects to Twitch and they didn't update it, your stuff's going to be broken, but you don't even get the courtesy of an email notification. Your shit just doesn't work for an entire day, and you have no idea why. So that may very well be part of what was going on with your redeems and might still be going on with your redeems, and everyone scrambling to change everything all at once. And
this. So I also have shifted a lot of my socialing. I hate using the word social media, but my social interneting to Reddit, just because, individual hyper focusing. And I hang out on the Twitch subreddit because there's a lot of new people having questions, and it's one of those, hey, I know the answer to that. Let me give you my knowledge.
yeah.
And somebody was having a problem with their alerts and stream element thing, just like it wasn't working. And I wonder if this was why. I wonder if the stream elements API is using the older stuff and it just wasn't working completely. But the Twitch alerts were working because, of course, they would update their own shit because it's probably been on Event Sub forever.
Yeah, I would be willing to bet this is exactly what happened. And yeah, if they'd have given any notification, hey, we're doing a phased rollout of a blah, 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 keep an eye on the applications you use.
Yeah.
Check with your developers. We're doing a blackout window where the bleep, blop, bloop, bleep.
It's like, hey, that thing we said was going away last year, we're getting closer to that, and we want to, give everybody a heads up. It's actually happening.
Yeah.
We're gonna, it's a very old adage. Is that, if you don't know what a server does in a rack, turn it off. See who comes yelling first. It's the most horrible, if you really can't figure out who owns it, turn it off and then back on again and see who complains. If nobody does,
silly little fishing game. Okay, I need to move Miner to Event Sub.
Yeah.
Oh my
Actually,
god,
we should
I have
just
to
go
fix
through
everything.
We should just go through all of anything we have
Everything
and
we
just take
have,
the time
yeah.
and because there's a couple in process that may need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna reach out to our other development team members and be like, hey, remember that sync we were gonna have back in January? We're having it now. The sync is everything's on fire. If you're connecting anything to Twitch, go change all this stuff.
Well, I mean, we should also just kind of in general be moving all that off.
Yeah.
Better stuff anyways, but
Tis true. But yeah. So yeah, if Twitch has been weird for you recently, I assure you it's not just you, it's us too, and none of us got a whole lot of warning. I mean, the argument could be made that they gave us warning when they first announced that things were going to be deprecated. But warning
they should
that
have had brownouts before then.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And they should have been announced preemptively.
I think
the next few are announced. We know when the next few are, but
okay. If you're gonna, let's say hypothetically, we're Twitch, okay, and we're marking this system A as deprecated. Like we have A and B. B is what you want you to. We're officially marking A as deprecated. We're gonna kill it in a year. I think whatever period, if you give a nice long runway of this is deprecated, but we're going to keep it alive because it takes a while to do stuff. I think every month there should be even just a 6-hour brownout period.
Yeah.
Just every single month, just to keep continuously. Oh, why did it break? Oh yeah, that's right. It's deprecated. They do that every month to get you, to remind you to do that. Just every month, but do it not just from midnight to 6. Move that brownout window like every month move it down a little bit so it
Yeah.
hits a different part of, you know, it hits each quarter of the day, do a 6 hour window, but you know, months 1, 2, 3, 4, move it down the time period so it interrupts the operations of different sets of people.
Yeah.
That'll get a people off of it.
100%. And it's necessary. It's gross that it's, well, okay, it's not gross that it's necessary. I'm talking about it from being on the other side. I know that it's why it is and how it is and all of that whatnot.
It's like doing a phased rollout in reverse.
Yeah, yeah.
The 1%,
phased
2%,
roll
5%.
up.
Yeah, there is no good way to, like, how we would do it at the CDN is we could turn off incoming connections to that server node, and it wouldn't break anything that had an active connection in. We just would stop routing new traffic to it.
Yeah.
And then things that eventually things would decay out of the cache. But if you made a direct request that already had something in route or an open TCP, it could still connect to it. It just, we would stop putting new stuff in, and then eventually that traffic level would just rapidly drop down. And then once it got below a threshold, then we'd kill it.
Yeah.
Because at some point you can't wait for all traffic because some still, but you stop, you know, it's like the doors close at 9, but customers are still there until 10 o'clock. You just stop accepting new tables. At some point you're like, okay, go home, but you can allow in progress stuff.
Yeah. Man.
Oh, you want to talk about spinning plates? Rolling software updates to a fleet of like 1,000 machines was insane, because if you have a bad new update, you can't take down the entire network, because it's like, it was always a calculation of, if we turned off a third of the network, could the other 2/3 of the network handle 100% of the traffic? Like, where's that calculation of what percentage can you just lose that the remaining can keep going, can absorb it, you know? And it's like, okay, if it's 20%, okay, only roll out the new patch to 20%. Because if it breaks those machines, they're gone.
I mean, you're not
like,
wrong.
They've got to be. So at any given point, there were, I'd say on average, between 2 and 8 different revisions of our core like distro build of our platform across the network. So even a feature that we had just launched, you couldn't announce it was live and usable until it was across all of the machines.
Yeah.
There was a constant rolling wave of updates, just not like, okay, we're doing the update now, everybody's updated. It's like, no, there's like, even within one data center, it would be different mixes of updates and things. It's like, what's the minimum level company wide?
What's the threshold? Yeah.
And being on the documentation team, even though it's live, we couldn't consider it live because it was not in the version that was the minimum threshold, which was a whole calculation we had to figure out how to do, because the engineering team could not actually answer the question of, when can we say it's usable? And they're like, when it's in the version that is in the minimum threshold across the network. Well, how do you calculate? Like, we have no idea. And I, on the documentation team, figured out how to calculate that.
Fuzzy figured out how to calculate is pretty much the answer to what happened in so many circumstances.
Yeah.
And that's why math is important.
That's why I love some of the work we do now, is because if we push an update out, you don't get to not get the update.
Yes. Yes.
It is extremely hard to launch a Steam game and not get an update to it.
Yeah.
It is possible, but it takes extreme efforts to launch a game that has an update and not have that game update, which I like that.
Yeah.
As a gamer, I feel it's kind of anti-consumer, but as a developer, you know what? I like that.
From the consumer standpoint, yes, I understand wanting to pin a specific version. And they have ways you can do that. But you should very much have to, A, opt into doing that, and
Yeah.
B, it's not the easiest thing in the world. I don't want to make it difficult, but I do want to add friction. I want to make sure that it's a deliberate choice on your end to do that, not I clicked ignore on Windows Update for 6 months. Oh no, now I have malware.
Fucking Chrome. They
Yeah.
rolled out the thing. You know what got caught in that I was so confused by? That stupid tab DJ thing I have.
Yeah.
Because it requires like raw access to the tab API, which got broken in V3, and they're like, oh, they haven't updated this in version, it's not privacy. I'm like, it hasn't changed. Your tab audio API hasn't changed in 9 years. There's a reason they haven't updated it, is because it hasn't changed. No, re-allow it, re-enable it. I freaking use it.
Yeah.
I have a Chrome extension that I can change the left-right balance of audio coming out of that, and also manually override the volume level coming out of that tab, regardless of what control. Because sometimes you're doing something in a tab, there are no volume controls, but it's like, I need to turn that down.
Yeah.
But I can pan the left or right balance, and I have quite often, I'll put one Twitch stream in the left ear and a different Twitch stream in the right ear, and I can tell.
Turn on and off the halves of your brain individually. No hydrate. No hydrate. No, absolutely not. I want to dehydrate. I want to just eat handfuls of sand out of spite now.
Oh, hydration story. Water bottle.
Hydration story. You got a new water bottle.
So it's a Zach.
Yeah.
Pretty good brand, but it's one of those, it's got percent markings across the day. It's like, oh, good morning, great, drink the 64 ounces across the day. This is how much water you're supposed to drink in the day. So I'll fill it up with ice and water, and I'll take it into work, so I can just, take a hit off it as I go. But sometimes I like a little bit of flavor. I'm like, oh, I can just like throw a can of, I had a can of Monster or something. I'm like, I've only got a little bit left. I'm like, I just dumped in there. Just it was like a LaCroix level of hint of flavor,
right?
And I'm like, I should just start doing that. So I filled up the bottle to 48 ounces, 75%, and I walked into work, and somebody had I had my bottle, and nobody questioned it. Like maybe I drank it in the car, and then I walk over to the drink aisle, and I buy 2 cans of Bang because they were on sale, and I open one and I dump it in there, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm adding it. It adds a little bit of flavor, adds a little bit of caffeine, and think about it, over the course of 8 hours, if I drink 60, I'm diluting it 3-to-1.
Yeah.
So that much caffeine over 64 ounces at that dilution is 75.
Safe dosage,
75.
Yeah.
But like that's basically just 4 cups of coffee at that point. Over 8 hours. That's nothing.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, that's reasonable. It does add flavor to it, get you to drink the water. And I'll kill this across the night just because I'm moving around a lot more than I realize. And then I open the other can of Bang and just
throw it down.
And throw and just pour it down my gullet. And they're like, they just stared at me in terror.
You're like, well, I got to have something to kickstart the engine, The rest will keep it running.
Let's go. Yeah. And they're like, so you're going to drink that, and then you're going to drink another one across the night. I'm like, And you
Yeah,
do this every night. And I'm like, no, but I'm running on 4 hours of sleep over the last 36 hours.
Yeah.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
This is what fuels me. Caffeine and spite.
Rage bait. Yeah.
Also, this shit is fucking delicious.
I'm gonna have to give it a shot.
Blue Hawaiian.
I missed my pineapple one. I'm sure they still make it. I just cannot find it. I missed the pineapple one. Yeah, no, 100%. You have been a formative influence. Man, I had a mocha from Sheetz. I had a Monster. I had a big glass of water. I don't think I've had any soda today, honestly, at all whatsoever. Interesting. I'll have to remedy that.
To be clear to anybody concerned, no, I don't normally drink that much caffeine. I literally had been awake for a day and a half with like a brief nap somewhere in there, and I had started that day with a shift at work, and I was ending it with another shift, and then it was the
Yeah.
only way I was going to make it through that day because it's just the way some scheduling
You
aligned.
you did not
No.
get to sleep in, but you had Fuzzy Jr. that day.
Yeah, but no, usually just a can of Monster, which is only what 150-ish.
Yeah.
One of those over a 64 ounces is all I'll have.
Bangs are
Yeah.
300.
Yeah, bangs are 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, you drink Monsters? That's so much caffeine. I'm like,
Yeah.
you sweet summer child. No.
What do we got in the current flavor du jour cafe latte? It's here somewhere, right? What do we got? Caffeine. I'm sure it says 200 per can. And I have one of those in the morning.
But those are 16-ounce cans.
Yeah.
Like, even if you have a Monster, even 150-ish, which is, again, your average cup of coffee, for math's sake, just assume it's about 80 milligrams of caffeine. Plus or minus 20-ish.
Yeah.
Depending on how strong you make it. But over 16 ounces is not that much. And just fill this back up with water when you're done.
Yeah.
Have however much energy drink you drink the same amount of water. You're good.
And I'm with you.
You'll be okay.
I have I have what makes me suspect that I may have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I have never been formally diagnosed, where caffeine calms me down and can put me to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Why I have a bunch of it in the morning, I don't know, but I do. Almost like I'm trying to self-correct for something. But yeah, no. You try to explain the concept of a caffeine nap to a neurotypical person, and they just give you this blank look. Like,
yeah.
My brother in Christ, what don't you get about it? This is how I function my whole life. I have to assume this is what everyone else does.
It's like when you discover, you need glasses, and you're like, the world just isn't blurry and has a range of 10 feet. And you're like, this is how the rest of the world sees. They can just see.
The first time I went outside and from far away, I could see the leaves on a tree. It's like, I have always been aware that a tree has individual leaves. I have seen them close up. And from far away, I just did not see them. I saw the green shape that was a tree. And then I got corrective eyewear. And I went outside and I looked at a tree way the hell over there. And I could see individual leaves. And it was mind-blowing. I had a meltdown.
Yeah, stuff like the gamer sups, the powder. That's what I was originally thinking. Is I was thinking about starting to add some of that to just a little bit to one of these, and I'm like, I can just skip the middleman, just pour the Monster directly in there, skip the mixing.
Got the Guarana Antarctica Zero sugar, the closest I can get to Texas de Brazil right now.
Oh. Where's my Trello?
Uh-oh.
That reminds me of something. I have a podcast topic I wanted to bring up.
Ooh. Interesting.
Okay. It was titled Always Present Negative Descriptive Modifiers. Here's what I wrote. How long, as a society, do we continue labeling the zero sugar sodas specifically as having zero sugar versus we start adding full sugar or added sugar in those? Like, where at some point the threshold will be zero sugar will be the norm. And
I don't know that we're going to get to that point, honestly.
But almost every, it's so weird when a drink comes out and they always launch a zero sugar with it, and occasionally they don't, and there is outrage for people like, you are excluding a whole section of people that just don't want to drink that much sugar, but they want to drink your new product, so they always have to do it. And it's like, at what point would they make a zero sugar? Do they just make a not zero sugar one? We've started to get it as there always is a zero sugar option of some variety, but like, will we ever hit a point where that becomes the norm and then we don't have to label because we just assume all sugary drinks are sugar substitute, and the ones the same way the few like Mexican Coke or whatever, like with cane, like we label some of them like with cane sugar.
Yeah.
Like this is a different that like
this is
we label
high fructose corn syrup. Yeah.
Right. But we just label with full sugar or something for the ones that still have that, and everything else is considered. Like, would we ever hit that point?
See, now you do kind of have me wondering. Like, in my mind, a lot of the reason the labeling exists right now is the labeling is less to inform you of a lack of sugar and more as a friendly descriptor of sugar alcohols present, because some people have negative reactions to some of them. And that's also one of the reasons that diet and zero sugar are different things, is they use different sweetener replacements.
Right. Well, it's not just that. There is zero sugar and then zeros, because there's a difference. Like, one of them has you ever see the thing on the bottle is like contains attention, ferrokinetics or something? Yeah. I know somebody that has that, because she asked me what was in that, and I'm like, why do you ask? Like, oh, because I have this thing where I can't, there's an additive they add, I can't have that. Like, it's like the same way like bromine in chocolate is poisonous to dogs.
Yeah.
They cannot process that
phenylalanine or any of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, she can't process that also. It's like she gets really sick from it. And like, it's a whole thing if she has anything with it. That's why it's on different drinks. But it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But that's why there was like Coke 0 calorie and also Coke Zero. And that was the difference between them. Like, there was like, why did they have both? Like 0 calorie, or 0 calorie versus zero sugar.
Yeah.
And you're like, wouldn't that be different? Like, no, because organic chemistry.
Yeah.
Hey, Rootworm, Balls comes in cans now.
We were talking about that because I gave you the other one that Mojo sent over to me. And
yeah.
You were talking about how like Monster has the imprinted cans. The glass bottles with the bumps are so iconic for that drink. And all they'd have to do is do the texture print on the can to put the little bumps, because they try to make it look like the bottle. They decorate the can like the bottle. Just put the textured bumps on it, man.
Yeah.
Also,
I do wonder though if, because now that I think about it, I think Monster's the only can that has a texture on it. Now that I'm thinking.
Are you thinking some kind of patent thing?
Yeah, maybe.
Or a trademark thing or something like that? I don't know, man. I'm curious now.
Oh, shut up.
Is it that time already? Ding dang a ling dong?
No, it's pill time.
Oh, yeah. Med reminder, everybody, don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, Eat your vegetables. Stay in school.
Drink your Ovaltine. We have 3 different flavors of Ovaltine at work.
You have like 90 different flavors of Pop-Tarts at work.
Oh my god, I hate. Oh.
The mint chocolate
Pop-Tarts,
chip
but we
one's back in yet?
No, they haven't come in at all yet.
Okay.
And I'm pissed because they put them in the planogram and I don't think they're out anywhere yet. And so we just have this huge gaping empty slot. And I'm sitting there like, what do I do with 12 extra cases of wild blueberry that we still have? Can I just put them in like, no, it's not on the planogram. You have to stay according to plan in case they come in and audit us. And I'm like, you took it down from 4 rows to 2, and we still have a backlog of them from when we had the whole end cap full of them.
Yes, they do still sell Ovaltine.
Yeah, it's people who really like malt.
Yeah.
Basically.
I do enjoy malt. I do enjoy malt.
They had vanilla. We had the normal chocolate, and then we had vanilla. And then we briefly had a special seasonal flavor that was a strawberry, and I'm like,
yeah,
interesting.
It is. It is. It is. Indeed.
Yep.
Today I learned.
Yeah, Ovaltine, if you ever had oh god, what was the actual can? The malted milk balls. What were those?
Milk Duds.
No, Milk Duds with the caramel ones.
Whoppers.
Yeah, Whoppers.
It's a coin flip. I can never remember which one's which, but I know it's one of those two. Yeah.
Ovaltine is just Whoppers are just compressed Ovaltine in chocolate. That's all they are.
No, it remains around. Same thing with the breakfast, the cereal thing. What the heck's the Malto meal?
Oh, that's the brand of all the bag stuff.
Or
yeah.
Whoever. No, the.
Yeah.
Anyway, the old man hot cereal is still around. Yeah. Lots of things that seem like they should not be around any longer absolutely are. And people still buy grape nuts.
Yes, they do.
For the life of me, I don't understand why, but who am I to argue? Yeah, if you guys get the mint chocolate chip ones in at any point, let me know. I'll set aside some cash for you. But anyway, yeah, no.
Cocoa Weeks?
That might be it. I don't know.
No, hot cereal multi meal. Oh yeah. Oh no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we don't have that.
Okay, maybe I'm calling you out. It's with love, I assure you, but maybe I am calling you out a little bit. Your family's weird. I love you, brother. I'm sorry.
Oh, Multimeal, yeah. No, we don't. Multimeal is also the brand that does the big bags of generic cereal.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I know that. I love those boxes. Whenever I steal boxes from work, I take the ones that the bag cereals come in because they're not double walled, but they're of a really thick, high crush strength cardboard because it's bags of cereal. There is no structural give to it, so it has to be entire. Like the boxes have like a 95-pound crush rating or something, and their other boxes are normally only like 45 or 50. And so those are the ones I've been taking for packing stuff up in, is because like they are ridiculous. They have a crush strength. The walls are real sturdy, and I don't know what crazy industrial EB green hydraulic clear industrial grade packing tape they use to cut seal those boxes, but like they're pre-taped, so I'm like, I don't gotta tape those shut.
Yep.
And if it holds that shit together, I ain't touching it.
It'll manage whatever I throw into it. Yeah, they got rid of a bunch of good ones. And didn't they discontinue their generic Captain Crunch too, the Admiral Munch or whatever the hell it was?
They cycle those a lot. The big one I know we're selling a bunch of is the s'mores right now.
Lieutenant Chomp. Write that down. Write that down. Lieutenant Chomp. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet, but write that name down. All right, we're at about time, so we're going to take a break for about 5 minutes. Go get yourself some hydration of your choice. Take yourself a little bathroom break. Don't go anywhere too far away. We're going to be back in just a few, so we will see you in about 5. and welcome back to the Blue House Bull Session. Back bulling with you. I hope you enjoyed your break for a few minutes there. Had a chance to get up, get yourself some hydration, moisturization, exchange the fluid tanks, whatever you need to do. I am, as always, your host, Jay Artist, joined by my dear friend and co-host, hetero life mate, sanity checker, chief bottle washer, uber fuzzy.
Oh my God, don't you start.
And our friend Dino. Hi, Dino. You want to say hi to everybody? That's right. Absolutely. They should join the Discord. Okay, that's enough of that. Get out of here. Go. I love you.
Where is it?
Go play. Here, I'll find a toy. We'll see if we can badger him with this badger. It's a badger now for the sake of the joke. You want it? You want it? You want it? Go get it. Sit there and bark. Good boy. He's mad we're out of his favorite treats. He's mad that we're out of his favorite treats. Come on, go. Go. Go get something. Bro. Don't just sit there and yell at me. I don't want to hear it, and I'm sure the folks at home don't either. Aw, come here. Aw. He is a sweetheart. He is a sweetheart. I give him a hard time. He really is a good boy. He is. Aren't you a good boy? Yes. Yes, you aren't. You're absolutely right. Anyway, where were we? Zero sugar stuff in the labeling, and you also sent me this fantastic image of the cereal. The checks. How flavored checks are lies. I gotta share that, man. I gotta see if I can bring it up here somewhere where I can. Where's my share your screen button?
To be fair, they're not lies. They do clearly show that they're not. When the flavor checks is not whole, they're mixed. They're essentially cut 50% with unflavored checks.
I want the peanut butter ones. I don't even think I knew that they made peanut butter ones. I want the peanut butter ones.
Okay.
One of these weeks, you're just going to show up with, like, armloads of groceries for me. I hope. And then I'll PayPal you $1 million.
If my store had, like, actually, no, because you would want me to get it. Yeah, if you find groceries you want, let me know.
I will. I will try to remember to do that. The Inside Man at the grocery store is a fantastic friend to have. Very much so. Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
I get all the cool news about new stuff when it's coming out. Anyway, I'll stop my share now. Everyone's looked at the chocolate checks longingly. A deep, meaningful gaze into that screenshot. You know, I'm trying to remember because you'd mentioned earlier there was something else I said before the show, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it was. I was like, well, I should save this. I want to talk about this. And then it just fell out of my head completely. It wasn't the new shelves. I showed you my new shelves. I didn't show the rest of the audience my new shelves that I totally just found sitting out in the trash across the street and stole because I'm like that. Because I am the trash across the street. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's kind of true. Yeah, he agrees. Are you quite finished? He's not quite finished. All right, come on, buddy. Ah, I tricked him. He's got treats, he's got food, he's got water. We'll take him out in a little bit and go run around while the weather's a little bit nicer out there, which it has been. It was really nice to go out with him earlier. I know I mentioned going for the ride and getting him a pup cup and all of that. I think we're going to go out and play in the yard a little bit more today. It
got
is really
chilly
nice.
as soon as the sun went down.
Well,
It got chilly though.
I can deal with chili. I can throw a hoodie on for chili. It's not cold. And it's not squishy. Like, it's relatively dry.
Question.
Uh-oh.
There's a philosophical debate of how big is a rock versus how big is a boulder, right? And at some point, you have to draw that line of, it's a rock versus a stone. Like, there are some estimates, but like, you look at it, it's like, that's a boulder, that is a rock. How wet does something have to be before it crosses the line between damp and moist?
Something is damp. Okay. I actually have a guideline for this. And it is tied to the porosity of the material. Something is damp if you can touch it and come away with more moisture, tactile, tangibly, physically, you can feel more moisture, more liquid than before you had touched it. That is when something is damp.
Do you know what the defining line is?
Something is moist when it can spontaneously eject said moisture. When it is saturated. Tell me.
Things are damp if you touch them with your hands. Things are moist if you touch them with your tongue, such as foods. Cake is moist. A towel is damp.
No, towels would be moist too.
No, they're damp. It's based on if they're supposed to be
Oh,
wet.
supposed to be. Now you're going to put me under someone else's judgment. My brother in Christ, if it's there where my face can reach it, I'm going to touch it with my tongue. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. I also wanted to know how the light bulb tasted.
How long it's been over 20 years.
We've gotten decades out of that moment. Yeah. It was fantastic. So we just passed March 10th, Mario Day.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo's doing some kind of Switch event soon, aren't they? Some kind of thing? They're supposed to be...
April.
Yeah. That's when the Switch 2 launches. Or Switch 2
Supposedly.
launch date announces in April.
Man, according to all the rumors, they've had it done. They just waited because they're like, why release it before we need to? The Switch is still selling. Let's just sit here, soak up the last, another year of profits out of that. It's still selling. We're still making them. There's still a ton in the supply chain. Just turn that knob down a little bit until see anybody, bleed out those ones in the system. Get them all out there. Maybe start ramping up and actually making enough of the goddamn parts this time.
So is now a good time to go buy a Switch? Or should I wait a couple more weeks?
Honestly, I would wait. Okay. If you don't care about getting a used one, wait until the Switch 2 comes out because there will be a fuck ton of them on the used market.
Okay.
And there'll be people looking to dump one off for like $100 or whatever just to get one out there. Just double check, do your diligence, get them to, picture of light to show it's not a banned account or whatever.
Yeah.
A banned hardware device, which probably not, but you never know. It was a big thing with PlayStations is they get, essentially VAC banned from PlayStation Network at the hardware level, and then they would try to sell it.
I do like the light. I would very much like to have a non-light. As dumb as it sounds, I find myself playing with the portable one less. But that's
That's why
because
I never bought the OLED. That's why I never bought the OLED one. It's like mine sits in my dock 90% of the time
Yeah.
because I'm sitting there playing on a fucking 4K TV. Not because it is 4K. I just want to be able to sit across the room and play it and not. I don't. I played all but one session of Tears of the Kingdom on the TV.
yeah.
And then one day I tried to play it handheld when I was watching the kid. And I'm like, how did people play? Like, I understand. Like, I think I had an entirely different experience with this game because I played it and I could see all that detail. I saw the puzzles because I could see the goddamn shit. And it wasn't 2 pixels a foot away here. I saw it, everything scaled up nicely. And I could see the stuff that was going on in the world.
You know, that's something that it's taken me many, many years to realize, as in it just clicked in my head. One of the biggest problems you have to overcome with any handheld gaming system is that the comfortable position for your hands to play for a while is at a different location than the comfortable position for your head for quite a while. Am I looking down or am I holding it at comfortable head position? But those two don't overlap. And that's the reason consoles stay out in front, is because you can get both of those in a comfortable position at the same time. And then Nintendo made the Wii, and they're like, well, hell with all of that. We want your hands over here.
Yeah. Everybody was bitching about, stick drift. And I'm like, I never played with the Joy-Cons long enough to have that problem.
Yeah.
I immediately looked at it and says, fuck it, I'll pay the $70. Give me a fucking Pro Controller. And I never played with my Joy-Cons. Ever. I have like 4 sets of the damn things because I bought a alternate color set, and I bought those knockoff clear ones because I thought, those were cool looking. And then I never used them. And the battery died in the one, and I replaced that. But just like, I always played with the Pro Controller.
Yeah.
All the time, ever.
I have this Gully Kit controller that I've used as my primary for everything. I have a set of Joy-Cons, but that's because I bought them when we were testing Tilt and Tumble, because I wanted to make sure it would work with plain old Joy-Cons, and it does. But you have to have them Bluetooth sync to the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But it does actually work with Joy-Cons. I have digging to do, because we were talking about, I can talk about it here. There's all of like 4 people here. We were talking about dungeon golf, and you'd mentioned something about tilt control. Jacob hit me up about that too. So now I have 2 of you saying, if I'm writing dungeon golf, I have to have a mode where it's just tilt control.
It just makes sense because basically that's what, Zelda Tilt and Tumble basically
Right.
was.
But yeah, there's your unofficial, official, not really a confirmation yet. We are working on dungeon golf. Okay, I am working on dungeon golf. I have not shared it with the rest of the team at all yet.
Okay. Zelda Tilt and Tumble Zorb mode for VR with tilt control. You tilt around the world like you're not rolling. Your eyesight here like you're in like a Zorb. It's rolling around you, but you tilt and you move in the world.
You're on a Segway,
but you get that Zelda engine where you're the first person Zelda 1 engine, but with tilt control.
Grody. I love it. I love it. I might have to actually like dig out the Rift for that.
You still have that?
I still have 2. I have the DK2, and then I have the consumer one I bought from Scott.
I thought Batman bought one of those.
Batman bought the Vive.
Oh.
Because I picked up the DK, I picked up the Vive, I sold that to Batman, and then Scott sold me his Rift, whatever the consumer version's called. The Oculus wallet burn, whatever the hell it was. Meta eye strain. Yeah. I am really into dungeon golf as a concept. I need to throw more time at it. I, in a fit of intelligence, joined yet another Minecraft server. Friend of the show, Alineate, started up a realm, and she's a very private, public person as far as it goes. And it's one of those people that we found through playing Let's Cafe and I made fast friends with. But she started up a Minecraft realm, so of course I had to go march in with my communist manifesto and start making farms for everyone and being like, here, I'll take the grunt work out of the game for everyone else to have fun because I enjoy building fishing machines and pumpkin farms that are shaped like pumpkins and bamboo factories and all of that happy crappy.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been playing that in my downtime recently, and it's really cut into my development time, which is my own fault. It's my own fault. 100% it's my own fault. You know? But it's like I was going to do that on Jiggy's server, but Isanave beat me to it because, you know, just absolute mad lad lord of farming. And I'm also still mad at Dark for killing us all. Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened when we... Okay. Story time, sorry. Jiggy set up a community Minecraft server, as he does every couple months, just because, you know, he's like, I want to play Minecraft, y'all are going to play too. And it's often good to... He's at a time where full-time streaming is his primary income source. It's a good way to stir up traffic for a bit. We got to the point, collectively, where he was scheduling the community dragon fight. We're all going to get together, get your good gear, we're going to go on stream together, be part of it, kill the dragon with us. And my former friend, my acquaintance that used to be a good friend, Dark Decay, we get to the end, we have an excellent dragon fight, we go to kill the dragon. They grab the dragon head and put it on the ground, and they say, everyone gather around, and we're going to take a group photo. And Dark's standing there because he's going to take the screenshot, and he's like, all right, everybody say cheese. And, of course, chat fills up with people yelling cheese. And then he says, and goodbye, and throws a bunch of instant death potions and just kills everybody. Anyway, friendship ended with Dark. I'm just kidding. I still love you, brother. It was masterful. It was the best piece of revenge I've ever seen, especially for lore that I'm only passingly familiar with. But boy, do I like to sound like I'm salty about it. No, I did not expect that he was going to assassinate everybody who went to kill the dragon. And then his defense is, I told you guys I sided with the dragon. What? No, Dark's a trip, though. Dark's a trip. Happy belated birthday to Dark, by the way. I went and hung out for birthday stream over there on his channel for a bit. One of my dear Zeldathon friends. I can't really stay mad at him. But yeah, that was the Jiggy Minecraft experience. And now... Playing on Allie's server is a lot more casual because Jiggy's not a purist by any stretch of the imagination. But he does like to complain about people cheating, whereas Allie's like, we're here to have fun. This is creative mode with monsters, you know? Don't be irritating. Don't bother other people. If you message me and say, hey, can you make a stack of elytra and put them in the community center? I'll do it. Flying around is fun. Why should you have to wait to get to the fun part of the game? But she is also afforded the privilege of doing that by having it not be a public server. It is easy to get an invitation. You ask her, and she uses her judgment and says, yeah, of course, you have shown you have no ill will. If you show up and start yelling, what's the IP? She's like, who the hell are you? Okay, in that case, maybe you're not going to get one. But because she's cultivated a tightly knit community of people, she can say, the rules are, don't hurt anybody else. If you want something, tell me and I'll give it to you and I'll hook you up. And I am the type of person where I wanted to make a fishing machine. It takes a skulk sensor. So I had to find a deep dark biome. I could have asked, can you give me a skulk sensor? But I wanted to go find a deep dark biome. That is a part of the game I opted into. And I like that because the moments I need something that I can't get, like if I'm like, I want an elytra to fly around, that involves all of the steps up to killing the dragon, and then after that, well, hell with that, that's too much. But if it's like, I want to go down in a cave and keep going down until everything gets dark, and then I want the warden to step on my head, and then I'm going to keep my inventory because you turned on keep inventory because dying and losing everything you have sucks.
Yeah.
If you're playing single player, go for it. You're more than welcome to. If we're on a community server, turn on keep inventory. I don't play on PvP servers. I like the fun fucking part of the game.
Yeah.
And then on top of all of that, I still have stuff I want to do in Garfcraft. Did I tell you I screwed up the server? Our own Minecraft server? By the way, if you're in the Discord, there's a link to the server in there somewhere on Garfcraft. Rules are don't be a dick. Yeah, I think I named something wrong in one of my data packs. And it accidentally got swept into the main namespace. And one of the dungeons that's only supposed to generate in another dimension is generating in unfinished form in the overworld. Oops. Tragic. Oh no, there's structures you won't find anywhere else, except all it really is I redid a dark city, deep dark, whatever the heck it is. You know the ones. I don't remember what they're called. The biome is the deep dark. I don't remember what the city down there is called, but it generates those, except instead of being made out of dark blocks, they're made out of quartz blocks and stuff like that, because it's the sky cities from the beginning dimension instead of the end. I have a whole storyline written for this thing, okay? My quest mode is coming together piece by piece. It's going to end up so that if you take 10 of any block and make a portal, you end up in some crazy, wacky dimension. I don't know. Anyway, point is, I screwed up the server. I'm not going to unscrew it up at this point. I'm gonna fix things, but I'm not going to roll anything back. But it's fun. Anyway, she seems so sweet. Well, here, let me do this real quick first. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. You seem so sweet. Come follow my good friend. She is an amazing, wonderful streamer, a big fan of the stuff that we do. I'm a huge fan of hers. One of the sweetest individuals that it's my privilege to know. And thank you for coming and hanging out and showing your support. And I'll give her a shout out so you can follow her too. But I'm going to start by shouting you out because you are amazing and wonderful. And I have met the most amazing people through all of the goofy stuff that we're doing. But I was going somewhere with this at one point. I really was, I swear. I had a point coming into this. Games that are fun. All the crazy stuff going on in Minecraft. Yes, I've been spending all of my time playing Minecraft because I'm playing on too many different multiplayer servers with too many different, cultures and communities and all of that stuff. So I have not thrown as much time as I should have at Dungeon Golf recently. And part of that's just due to the fact that I've had other things I gotta do. But it's about time to get back to that, and I built most of the farms that I want to build over on Alley server. So now that I have those pretty well sorted out, I think I need to go get sheep, and I need to. There's one or two more I need to. We need an iron farm, but an iron farm's gross in its own way and might require me asking some favors. But point is, I can get back to golf. I don't have to obsess over Minecraft 24/7. I can get back to dungeon golf and add tilt controls. And because we're working in Godot, I'm not handbound by what happens in a browser. As much as I love JavaScript, as much as I love building things with Electron, which I really do, I'm still a huge fan of that. I know
the browser
I said
just gives you so much of the process for free, basically.
Yeah.
It gives you it gives you deployment, it gives you audio, it gives you visual, it gives you canvas, it gives you 3D. Like there's just so much of it, just like it is its own language environment, and everybody has it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But the more I work with Godot, the more I'm like, hey, this is just Flash and a half. And you remember the Flash days. Some of them still live in hidden form on Hergel somewhere. Some of that stuff can come back. I kept saying I should rewrite my old Flash games. This is how I should do it.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to
problem
port
I
them to HTML5, I should rebuild them in Godot.
Yes and no. Because you have to remember, then you have the barrier of try my game. Oh, how do I do that? Oh, I have to go download something?
No, Godot has a web exporter.
Yes, but then you're kind of back to limited to some. Do you have access to all of Godot or some?
Yes. As far as I can tell, you have access to all of it. I do not. You don't have file system direct stuff, I'm pretty sure. But that may be the only thing. I think the rest of it all packages neatly, because most of it does with like WebASM and stuff like that. I can look at what is and is not available, but specifically for rebuilding the old Flash library, Godot would be a great choice, because the migration from old Flash to modern Godot is not a particularly painful pathway, knock on wood. But, yeah. So that's one more thing to put on the list right underneath finish farms and write dungeon golf and repair every Twitch connected project we have, is rebuild every old Flash game I have. And somewhere in there is still the sushi tower defense thing, which just completely fell off the radar for a minute because I started writing Garfield Plinko, which led me to write dungeon golf. I have problems. There's like a large deficit in my attention that leaves me all disordered.
You know, they make pills for that.
Yes, I drink 3 cans of them a day. Just got to hit the lottery. Just got to hit the lottery, even if it's metaphorically. Just got to hit the lottery so we don't have to worry about this other stuff. Because if we can stop worrying about this other stuff, we can do all the damn fun stuff we want to do. And that'll keep the lottery maintaining hits. We just, like you said, we got to keep putting out fart hotels until we get our FNAF. Do you remember when you were looking at my Godot library before I started with the most recent projects, and you asked me about a project I had in there that was labeled Fart Cart?
Mm-hmm.
I think I know how to do it now.
Oh my God.
I'm
No,
I'm not gonna.
no.
I'm not gonna. But I'm just saying. I think I've learned enough about the engine that I could, in theory, write fart cart now. I don't know. Just a driving game. I needed a name because I was gonna try and make a driving game, and the first thing that floated through my head was fart cart. I didn't have anything more than that. I did have the Canon demo though. The like I was gonna write getting over it with Bennett Foddy, but instead of swinging a hammer, you're shooting a guy out of a cannon. But it's shoot the guy out of the cannon. It's only up with ballistic physics. The knight is scaling the castle, but you launch him out of a cannon, and then he pulls the cannon up after himself with the rope. That was the joke. I could do that one now. I could do that one properly now. I've gotten enough exposure and experience in the engine that I know how to actually. It makes sense to me. It had not clicked in my head when I was working on that. Now I understand the structure of everything, and I know how to make that work. Dungeon Golf first. Dungeon Golf has the most potential. Sorry, that was a deliberate pause. That wasn't a network error. My brain glitched out for a minute. Sushi Tower Defense has a pretty solid structure for the direction I want to go forward with it. I've hit a few small snags, but it's at a point of narrowing focus at this point, if that makes any sense. You know, it's at a point where we will be making updates and transformations and changes and everything to that, but we have narrowed it down to an idea of what the game's going to be. Dungeon Golf is still in the exploration phase. I have room to play with a whole lot of ideas. So I should focus on that, narrow it down a little bit. As I get it narrowed down, document everything. Because as you pointed out, if I have it documented thoroughly enough and I have the vision laid out clear enough, I can hand it off to anybody and be like, all right, which part of this would you like to do? So that's in the works. Many things are in the works. Very excited for them. I am into that.
No. Don't put also I hate dogs.
Don't put also I hate dogs. Are you getting a dog?
No.
Good.
I'm got an email from Bark.
Oh. Yeah.
Hi there, I'm Brandon, and Chief Technology Officer. I wanted to welcome you to the Bark family. I haven't signed up to this service. I haven't confirmed my email. As you get started, I downloaded the Bark parent app, blah, blah, blah. This makes it easy to connect accounts. If you have any questions, just hit reply and let us know. Unsubscribe. Please also add unsubscribe system to your emails. I don't know what your service is or where the fuck it's at because you don't actually have links to it. I just want to unsubscribe. Please also add an email confirmation loop before you start sending non-transactional emails. I didn't subscribe to your service, have no idea what it is, but I have 3 emails from your service account from this one without confirming my email. And by the way, you may be in violation of the Canned Spam Act. You may want to look into that. And then I was going to put, also, I hate dogs.
You are like me. You hate dogs the way you hate people. There are persons I love. People I cannot stand. There are dogs you can appreciate. Dogs you do not like.
Rufus is adorable when he's quiet.
Dino is adorable when he's down.
Yes.
I can even... the biggest difference for me between Rufus and Dino is when Dino's being loud, I worry about it bothering other people or getting in the way of something. But I can deal with it. But Rufus's bark is at a pitch that I cannot handle. It's just high enough and squeaky enough that It makes
Yeah.
my, like that one scene in Scanners. Don't Google it, but that one scene in Scanners.
Yeah.
But I love him. I love both of them so much. There are occasional small times I don't like them, but I always love them. But in general, if you're like, hey, do you want to meet my dog? I'm like, probably not. I'll give it a shot. I will give it a shot. I'll always give it a shot. I'll try anything once. You're just going to love him. I hope so. I love
don't
Indy.
hate dogs. I hate loud, obnoxious things that I have no control over that are just they're just doing their thing. They're not doing it to be malicious. They're just existing in the world.
And yet you spend 2 hours every week doing this with me. And if I'm not a loud, obnoxious thing just doing my thing in the world,
See, I can manipulate you.
you're not wrong. You're not
I can
wrong.
give you feedback and I can subtly manipulate you to do other things and change your behaviors. I cannot get Dino to stop doing a thing. It is against his nature.
Yeah.
He's not going to stop barking, staring at you, barking because he's trying to tell you something, but he won't tell. He's not trying to get you. If he's barking because he needs to go out, or he's barking because there's a mouse in the house and he's trying to give you feedback or get your attention to interact with you, that's a different kind of bark. But when he just stares, he goes, bark, 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 and he's not trying to do anything. He's just yelling at you. It's like, dude, I just want to punch you.
Please don't beat up to Dino. Please don't beat up to Rufus. I get what you're saying, but please don't beat up to doggos.
Rufus, I can scoop up and muzzle him and be like, no, we're going to be quiet now. Dino, not so much.
Okay, I don't have the weekly exposure. I don't get to see the dog every week. But I got to say, from all the times I've watched you stream, our audience member, Indy doesn't bark like that. She's so cute, and she'll come hang out, and she'll grab chicken or she'll grab broccoli, and she's always so well behaved on your streams. I love her to bits. I love Dino too. He's usually so good. I love all the good boys and girls that we have. And I know, to be honest with you, I'm trying to deny this, but I know what the real problem is. Do you want to know why Dino has been so vocally yelling at me all of today? Sarge is in his bedroom. Dino is telling me there is a cat laying on his bed, and he's not very happy about it. And she is a sweetheart, though. I love her. And the clingy is cool, Dino's clingy. Dino's really clingy. If you lay down in this house, Dino is going to come like, okay, can I be Little Spoon? Like 11 times out of 10, he will just curl up in front of you and flop on his side and be like, hold me. Like, no, that's my job. I'm the Little Spoon when it's cuddle time. I love that, though. I love that. I'm an old man, so I try to take a nap every day, I do my work, and like at lunchtime or right after work, I'll lay down for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. But I will just be like, nap time, and clap twice, and he'll come running. And I'll lay down, and he'll just come flop down right next to me or right in front of me or wherever. As a matter of fact, when we wrap this up, I'm probably going to go do that too. I'm into it. I love the company. At one point in time, he spent most of his time in Ashley's room because he was still getting used to the dogs and everything. And I know I've talked at length about like the process of training him to behave well enough to be let out and all of that. And as a result of that, when it is bedtime, Ashley will go in her room and she will close the door and go to sleep. And usually always she will take Dino in there with her. Except recently, he's been putting up a fight. he doesn't want to go in there with the door closed when she goes to sleep. So Ashley's been going to bed and closing her door, but she'll tell me before she goes to bed, hey, if Dino comes and sits at the door, will you let him in before you go to bed, you know? Just open the door, let him in, he'll come curl up and go to bed, and I will. And about half the time he will, and about half the time he won't. He'll just not be interested. He'll come to bed with me whenever I get there. Yeah, no, they're 100% heads of household here. That's what I should have done with the roof guy when he came by. Is the owner of the house here? Let me get him. Roof, 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 roof. I mean, he is a roofer. Oh, that was bad. That was bad even by my standards. Sorry. But yeah, they are absolutely snuggle bugs. You know, okay. I gotta ask, Gull, what flavor Doritos? Tell me you got something good. Do you have the white bag, old logo, taco flavored Doritos? Because those are the best. Also, if you do, I hope we get to see. I want to see cat pictures. Yes, Gull. Get a cat. I'm 1,000,000% a cat person. Get a cat. I'm going to vote yes on that. Like 9 thumbs up. I love the idea. Nacho cheese will work. I'll take nacho cheese. Those are good. They're a close runner-up to the taco flavor. They're better than cool American flavor, as they're called everywhere else. Cool Ranch in the States, Cool American everywhere else.
Really?
Really. Go look up European blue bag Doritos. I'm serious. They are Cool American flavored.
What the fuck?
Oh, are you one of today's lucky 10,000? Are you just learning about this now, really? Yeah. The concept of like ranch dressing is not a universal one. So a lot of things that we call ranch, a lot of other countries just call American flavor.
To be fair, it's kind of like what's the really stupid Canadian one that like the name
All
makes
dressed?
no sense. Yeah.
It's everything flavor. That's why they call it all dressed. It's everything flavor. Salt and vinegar barbecue buffalo chicken cherry cheesecake, you know?
Oh my god.
Spicy Doritos good. Yes.
One of the Frito-Lay vendor is one of our generation.
Uh-oh.
We have a display where all the chili stuff is because it was cold. We're getting out of cold season, but it was cold. So there's an entire end cap display where the chili stuff is. It's all the beans and chili mixes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Immediately in front of it, they put the freestanding thing of bags of Fritos. And I'm like, this is a person who grew up around here.
Mm-hmm.
They grew up on fucking walking tacos.
Yep.
And they know exactly what they're doing. Because if we're selling all the stuff to make chili and you put bags of Fritos in front of it, those are going to sell like crazy.
100%, man. Damn, I want walking tacos now. Hey, should we do that for dinner next Monday? Should we just get stuff and make walking tacos instead of getting takeout?
I mean, yeah.
I'm way down for that. Yeah. Oh, dinner plans. See, for anyone here not in the know, we do a family dinner on Monday nights, and Fuzzy's family, as far as I'm concerned, he's only been around longer than other people I'm related to by blood. You know, he's grandfathered in, he's family. So he comes over on Monday nights as well as Aunt BJ, and we do family dinner night. And I think we usually get takeout. I think this coming Monday we're going to do walking tacos. Yeah. Factory that makes those cardboard displays. They had one in the office for moon pies. Apparently it's been there 7 years. The sales guy tried to eat one recently. troublesome. Fake foods are awesome, though. I love watching the videos of like the food stylists. I mean, I'm sure it used to be real food, but the people that do like food commercials, like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that stuff.
Like how the cereals, they use like Elmer's glue because of the density and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for some value of self-employed. No, I actually have a day job with a external company, a real business. And then the Hergel stuff is all just on the side. It is ultimately my dream goal to be self-employed and pay the bills with it, but I do have an real job right now for someone else. How long it lasts is anyone's guess, but no, I'm a pretty open book about that stuff. But yeah, no, we actually had some management shakeups over there recently. It's kind of entertaining because there's been the company I work for has had some bad blood spilled recently over the past couple years at least, recent in corporate terms. And some of the recent departures have left comments in not as private as they thought places about just how they felt about the incoming structure of new management. It's been exciting. It's been exciting to see everyone sharing their feelings and being open and honest and transparent with each other. Oh, the bridge burning shit they have said. I'll have to get you some secret links in private here. No, I keep joking. A couple of years ago, they had a round of layoffs, and it was executed kind of poorly. And fortunately, I survived it, but the delivery was not great. And the terms were nothing too special. I mean, if you were caught up in the layoffs, you were given 6 months severance, whatever. But I'm starting to get to the point where if another round of layoffs come, I don't think I would be upset if I got caught up in it, if I got 6 months severance. Because every day I think a little bit harder if I could devote full time 6 months to all the projects we have going on. I might be able to get it to a point of self-sustenance.
I mean, I would go into that full force with you also if I thought we were actually going to do it like, for real.
Yeah.
It's kind of why, honestly, it's kind of why I got a little dissuaded from some of the stuff we were doing over the last year is I wanted to do that and really get that going, and everybody else kind of got distracted with day jobs and real life, etc., and babies and stuff, and it's like it's one of those we all have to row the boat, not just some of us.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if we're not going to make a serious go of this, then it's not worth putting. It's chicken egg problem. It's like we all have to put effort into it, otherwise it's not worth anybody putting any effort into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
And then, somebody goes off and makes 600 new projects in one weekend because
their dear friend and ex said, hey, why is a 15-year-old game $1 on the phone? And suddenly I have 3 new projects. Oops.
Which, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
If you didn't have 600 other ones actively in the fire.
Right. That's all right. We have a priority sorted out right now, and I am going to make some notes around that priority. But because of the impending deprecation of PubSub, just to take it all the way back to the beginning, with the impending deprecation of PubSub and the fact that everything on Twitch is broken, I need to shift gears back to priority being fix that in Let's Cafe.
Yeah.
while we're fixing that in Let's Cafe, I need to make sure I push out cosmetic changes.
Yeah, just get that out there.
And yeah, get that in everyone's hands. We'll winnow down the list sometime this week or this weekend. We'll winnow down the list and see if there's anything else feature-wise that would be a good fit for a right now update, since we have to do a right now update.
Right. Well, speaking of that, Steam sale starts tomorrow?
I did not sign us up for this one.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on what the next few are, and we'll kind of figure out what we want to throw at which one. But
yeah,
it will go on sale again soon. Yeah. And I mean, you're always welcome to pay full price for it. I'm not going to turn anyone down from that. Then again, if you're one of the like 4 people that actually hangs out here and you want a key, message one of us. We'll hook you up.
No, buy it.
I mean, buy the game. Buy the game. Wish list
it. Buy it. Wish list it. Go and buy it, so when you leave your review, it actually counts. Because if you leave a review, if you got a key for free and you leave a review, it counts entirely different in the ratio and the calculations and stuff.
Yeah.
Prevent people from just giving out a thing. Oh yeah, they're starting, because Steam's starting to shit the bed. I'm getting 502s.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Everyone in there updating at once. Yeah. 100%.
Well, no, they're starting to update stuff in the background. Yeah, Steam sale starts, I want to say tomorrow. I want to say the 13th.
Yeah, they did add a box where you have to indicate if you're using AI generated content. They did indeed.
Yeah.
I want to look at the details of that because I have some questions. Hergel has an internal policy to avoid as much as possible deploying with any AI-generated content that we could have gotten someone to make, like images or like dialogue or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you and I have discussed briefly other uses that I don't think would count, that technically one could make the argument, etc., such as sushi game. I have a ton of foods. I need numbers associated with them for the various flavors. I could roll a dice, or I can say, hey, ChatGPT, populate this array. I would argue that does not count as AI-generated content, though.
Yeah, we need to look into that. I think what they mean is they don't want...
It's a shovelware filter. I get that. It's a shovelware filter.
Yeah, I think it's generated audio and visuals more than code.
Yeah, don't make Night Cafe generate your hidden object game.
Although,
if you mark it as being done so, you can absolutely do so. Just know that it's going to have a big sticker on it that says.
Okay. I got a horrible idea.
Me too.
Ready?
What's yours?
You ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Sure.
Magic Eye, Where's Waldo?
Okay. My question is it like a random dot stereogram and you have to find him in the blur of things? Or is it one of those image-based stereograms, but the spot where they don't overlap correctly is where Waldo is?
No. You just take a Where's Waldo and you throw it through a Magic Eye generator to turn it into a stereogram.
All right, hang on. You might be onto something with this one. You might be onto something with this one. See, my bad idea was, those hidden object games, and we were just talking about AI-generated hidden object games?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of the things that the GAN image generation tools are good at is replacing portions of images.
Yeah.
Okay? So think hidden object game, right? And you click on the object and it goes away. So we can generate the background behind it. That means, in theory, we could layer hidden objects. With just the different rounds of generation. If you find these 4, it ultimately ends up replacing it with the section that has another one in it. I don't know. I have thoughts on that. Yes, we'd have to market AI generated, but if we try it and the concept is interesting enough, then we go to a real artist and say, okay, well, this is how we did this. We'd prefer it be done with actual real good art. We're going to need you to draw this same picture 50 times with these differences in this order. And then Danny would lose his flippin' mind. Anyway, the point is.
Well, there's something to consider, though. There is a difference between AI generated and procedurally generated.
Right.
If we make a way to basically make our own asset flip of assets we have, like we in code can take the I don't know, the giraffe or something, and we programmatically can generate that giraffe in 7 different or 20 different palettes, because we like define them like kind of like an SVG, and we just spit out load this palette, save a sprite, load this palette, save a sprite, the same way like NES games, you load a palette set and it's effectively a different sprite, the clouds versus the bushes.
Yeah.
If we programmatically do that, that's generated assets, but that's not AI generated.
Right.
That is a big difference between we saying, hey, can I take like this and make me different versions of it? No, we are doing like there's a line there, and we have to. The policies need to account for stuff like that.
Right. And I'm fairly sure that they do. I want to go look at them in detail, but I'm pretty sure specifically what is written is if you use an external generative service to produce your artwork or your audio resources, or I think they attempt to scope it to the actual concern there.
It separates AI usage in games in 2 broad categories. First, pre-generate. Any kind of content, art, code, sound, etc., created with the help of AI tools during development. On the stream distribution agreement, you promise Valve that your game will not include illegal infringing content, and your game will be consistent with the marketing materials previously evaluated. Versus live generated, which you're basically like, you have an API feed GPT and you're pulling it in. And that's it. You need to like guardrail the hell out of that.
Right.
But there's a big difference between AI audio and visual versus like, oh, we used Copilot because why the fuck would you not? It's like, I wrote this book and I didn't use spell check and I double checked every word in a dictionary by hand. Like, no, you use spell check. Like, you're not an insane person.
Yeah.
At this point, not having some,
is giving yourself a handicap. Yeah. Anyway, we're about at time. So I think we are going to call it and wrap it up here shortly. I'm going to flip a coin. No, you know what? There's no coin flip involved. I know who we are going to go shower some love on. Let me give my shout out here. Did I do this right? Let me go look. I did, yes. First, I am going to shout out, because I mentioned Allie earlier, I'm going to shout out her channel, and we are going to go shower some love on her. So please join us in raiding into the lovely, talented, and friendly Alineate. I am not sure what she's doing right now, but I know she was playing Minecraft when I left, so let's go send some love over there. Thank you for joining. I should be back, fingers crossed, for more music on Friday, because I can actually get to my stuff and move it around a little bit now. Hopefully some dev over the weekend. If you're in the Discord, who knows, you might see some secret previews of Golf Dungeon this weekend. And in the meanwhile, we love you all. Be safe, be well. We will catch you next time around.